Are you ready to transfer or move your existing business to Texas? At Cummings and Cummings Law, we make this process seamless and efficient. In this brief video, I will succinctly explain how redomestication works, what redomestication is, why it is often the best option for transferring or relocating an existing business to Texas, and how, in most circumstances, I am able to assist in accomplishing this complex legal process for a flat fee. First, a brief introduction. My name is Chad Cummings. I am a Texas attorney and certified public accountant, and I am Chief Executive Officer of Cummings and Cummings Law, serving clients throughout the Lone Star State in matters of business, tax, and commercial law. Though lately, much of my work has been in assisting clients in moving their existing out-of-state businesses to Texas. In addition to my day job as an attorney, I also teach business law at the university level. I hold 4 degrees, including a bachelor's degree in accounting, a master's degree in taxation, and 2 law degrees, as well as a variety of tax, legal, financial, and accounting credentials, which I apply in my law practice for the benefit of my clients. Now let's jump right into it. First, what is redomestication? Unfortunately, there is a tremendous amount of incomplete and, in some cases, outright misleading information about this almost esoteric process online and on social media. So we need to start with the basic definition. Redomestication, also known as changing the state of domicile or re-domiciling, is a statutory process that allows an existing business, which might be a corporation, including, by the way, a subchapter S entity, a limited liability company or LLC, or even a partnership, any of which can be formed in another state, to transfer that legal home, also referred to as the state of domicile, to Texas via a mechanism of conversion. This does not require dissolving, merging, or forming a new distinct legal entity. All of those we will discuss in just a moment. It is important to note that every state uses slightly different terminology, so do not let that aspect confuse you, though there are very important nuanced differences between this redomestication process that I am describing and certain other legal techniques for moving a company, which again, we'll get to in just a moment. Why would you choose this redomestication process over other options like foreign entity registration or a statutory merger? Unlike foreign entity registration, redomestication makes Texas your company's official legal home. This means no ongoing dual compliance and tax burdens between your prior state and Texas, provided that your company has indeed ceased operations in its old home state. Tax rules can be tricky, so be sure to consult with your CPA or tax preparer or ask about this in our initial telephone consultation. In a redomestication, the entity retains its existing federal employer identification number, or EIN. It also maintains its existing banking relationships, contracts, credit history, and in most cases, its existing name. This is not a workaround. It is not a loophole. It is a lawful, recognized, and established procedure authorized by state and federal law. During the redomestication process, the business can continue its day-to-day operations uninterrupted in most cases. Unlike a merger, which is a separate and distinct legal process, redomestication avoids the complexity, the expense, the tax implications, the ambiguity, and the continuity risks of combining 2 separate legal entities. When executed correctly, redomestication is also a non-taxable event, meaning that unlike a dissolution, It will not trigger a hefty tax bill or, in fact, any tax bill at all from the Federal Internal Revenue Service, or IRS. Now, it is very important to clarify that redomestication does not involve dissolution, because dissolution usually triggers a tax bill from the IRS and in some cases from state taxing authorities, and it always terminates your existing business contracts, the business name, the employer identification number, and the credit history. Redomestication, on the other hand, and unlike dissolution, allows the business to continue in Texas. Now let's talk about timing, which is usually the elephant in the room. While every situation is different, the average timeline for completing a redomestication is approximately 3 months, though often less and sometimes a little bit longer. However, this process is highly dependent upon the responsiveness and the backlogs of the respective secretaries of state. Some jurisdictions, like Texas, process quickly. Others, like New York, may require follow-up or experience delays. Of course, we will handle those and address those on behalf of our clients during the process. For this reason, I advise business owners to start early and to work with counsel experienced in this niche area of law. At Cummings & Cummings Law, we are able to handle this redomestication process from start to finish and for a flat fee in most instances. This means that I will personally draft and file the appropriate legal instruments with the respective secretaries of state or Department of State. I will also prepare a legally sufficient and customized plan of conversion, which is very important, as well as all of the required intra-company approvals. We use DocuSign for electronic signature to expedite the process whenever possible. I will also respond to any correspondence received from the secretaries of state during the engagement and provide you with a go-forward checklist at the conclusion of our working engagement for your ongoing compliance obligations in Texas. It is important to note that I do not normally provide tax advice or assist with the establishment or closure of state or local business tax accounts or licenses unless by separate agreement. And the reason for this is that many business owners prefer to handle these odds and ends for themselves, or alternatively for their existing tax preparer or CPA to tackle those ongoing routine compliance tasks. Finally, it is imperative to emphasize that redomestication is a complex legal process. I know I've said that a few times, but it is worth repeating. If it is performed incorrectly or incompletely, it can result in the inadvertent termination of your business's legal entity with substantial and unpredictable state and federal tax and legal implications in many instances. It is also vital to realize that while some documents, forms, and templates can be found online, it's better to leave the DIY for home improvement and allow a competent, experienced attorney to craft these bespoke legal instruments on your behalf. I hate to say it, but if you make a mistake in attempting to handle this process for yourself, it will regrettably take far longer and cost far more to resolve, if it can be resolved at all, than if we had worked together from the outset. If you are ready to begin the process of transferring your existing company to Texas, or if you simply would like some additional information or would like to schedule a telephone consultation to speak with me, visit www.movetotexas.law, not .com, but .law, to schedule a consultation, take advantage of our current pricing, and get started. Again, my name is Chad Cummings, and I look forward to the opportunity to speak with and hopefully serve you very soon.